need a riser for the build up. I think we got the one here. So we have the new synth, we have the rave step, and we have the snares here and the build up and the reverb effects, but we still need something like a riser. So I have a lifter here. So what I maybe also want to do is like let the snares come out of a filter instead of like playing them all open straight away. So I'm gonna use Fruity Filter here. I put the high pass down, the resonance down, the low pass totally open, and automate the cutoff so I can regulate. So this is a pretty quick build up, and this is what I was looking for the first drop. So right now, before the drop, I want to create a fill that introduces like the drop. So in order to do that, we're gonna open Serum again. So in order to find that sound that I want to use, I'm gonna use Serum again. So I'm gonna load in a new Serum. I'm just gonna go through these sounds. I like the sound of this. So let's see how that works. So that can be pretty dope, but I want to like play around a little bit with this sound. First, let's assign it to a mixer track again. I'm gonna do some limiting. Meow, 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 meow. So in Serum you have a pretty cool function. It's the sync function. You can get it by clicking here and clicking sync no window, and it will create this effect. So what I'm gonna do is automate this sync button. So for now this can be cool, but we can tweak this a little bit further in the track. Okay, so now I'm gonna copy like the second part of the intro and use it as a structure for the drop. So I'm gonna play around with the bass here and see if I can create a little bit different groove, perhaps. So now we have a new rhythm for the bass, and it has a different rhythm than the intro, so it's less predictable. So I always try to like add new rhythms or add new elements to it, so people cannot really predict what's gonna happen. So I want to see if there are like I have other rave steps that I can use in the first drop that are different than the rave steps we used before. Let's try this. This sounds pretty cool, in my opinion. So I have the feeling the bass is pretty high in tone here, and for the drop I want to have like a lower bass sound. So I'm gonna make this automation of the cutoff unique, so to try different frequencies. So the bass is a little bit more deeper sound now. Let's assign the new rave step to a mixer track. So once again, I removed a little bit of the low frequencies so they don't interfere with the rest of the mix. So this is pretty cool, but I want to have a nice reverb on the sound. Let me first limit it. And let's use a sidechain as well. And I also want to put this a little bit wider in the stereo, so I'm gonna use the stereo widener of Fruity Loops here and separate it a little bit. So now I'm gonna make the second part of the first drop. So I want to add some extra hi-hats in the second part of the drop, so let's go to the hi-hat folder. I like the sound of this. So I'm gonna add a layer, a track here. So let's assign this one to a mixer track as well. And I want to put a little bit of reverb on this hi-hat. Oh, maybe it's an idea to put this fill here as well. And maybe we can do it here as well. Maybe it's cool to remove some of the drums here so it sounds less messy. Maybe we can let this sound come back in the second part of the drop. Let's try that. I think it can be cool, but it needs way less reverb, so let's automate that here. I think it's the right reverb. It also needs some side chaining, because I can hear it doesn't have any. And maybe we can control the volume with some limiting as well. Let's give this sound also a little bit of stereo widening. So let's take a listen to what we have right now before we jump in the breakdown. So. So for the breakdown, I want to use like a Reese kind of bass to make a bass progression, and from there use the doo-doo top mellow on top of it before we start creating the next melody for the second drop. Because like I told in the beginning, I want to have a simpler version of the drop in the first drop, and then I want to switch things up in the second drop. So for now, we're going to go to the breakdown. So for this, I'm gonna use a serum again. I'm gonna insert a serum here. Why not? I have this Reese. Let's link this one to a channel. And I put like a filter on it because I want to get rid of the high frequencies in this specific sound for the breakdown. So I'm gonna automate the cutoff. I'm gonna start making melody with this. So I have the Reese bass here, and I'm gonna start creating a bass progression from this sound. That might work. Let's put it here. And I want to see if this top sound fits on top of this bass progression. As you can see, I opened the reverb here because it was sounding pretty dry in the break, and in the break we can use a lot of reverb on this specific synth. So this sounds pretty dope, but I want to play around here with the same sync function I showed you guys in the other preset. I'm gonna make an automation clip out of this one. can add the rave sound we used step here in the break as well. I can see this one hasn't been limited yet, so we're gonna push this one through limiter. And I added a reverb to it because I want to make it sound big with a reverb in the breakdown. So I made an automation of the reverb envelope.